Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that was one of the greatest games I've watched in a very long time as a neutral, I truly mean it. Liverpool 3, Newcastle 2, and I promise you that scoreline doesn't even do it justice. This game truly had everything. And to be honest, the game ended like 4 hours ago, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. That was so enjoyable to watch as a fan, as a neutral. This game was really enjoyable because it kind of had everything. It had all aspects. It had fights breaking down, tackles, players acting like absolute mental maniacs. You had, teams scoring against the run of play, last minute winners, comebacks, the fans. This game was a true spectacle when it came to considering the situation, the aspects, and honestly, Liverpool Newcastle in itself as a tie, it just always delivers. You saw it with Nunez 2 years ago under Klopp when he scored, when he came on and scored those two winners. You saw the 3-3 last season in the title race. Newcastle and Liverpool in recent years really just hasn't disappointed. So, and what a way to end off Matchday 2. I'm so glad that this game was the last one. And man, the way it played out was just, you just can't write it. You really can't write it. I'm going to get into talking about, the game, the important aspects, the best players, the worst players, a regular review. But I kind of want to talk about, the build up to the game. What the game really meant for fans around England, what it really meant for fans as neutrals. This game was essentially the battle for Alexander Isak. This game kind of revolved around his situation that has been going on all summer, and we knew that this game was going to be important in terms of the egos for both sides, what they could really put out there and what kind of statement they could put out there for the rest of the world. Because there was just so much background noise with the Isak Liverpool situation, with the Isak Newcastle situation, how both teams were kind of feuding over one player. Isak was the middleman in all of this, and to see them match up on Matchday 2 was just perfect. It was perfect for entertainment, it was perfect for our viewership. It's just literally what we needed. And going into this, we knew how Newcastle were going to play. Newcastle are kind of known, they're known for being a very emotional side, going out there, kind of being very physical, kind of intimidating their opponents, whether that be the Big Six. They're notoriously known for being a troubling side for the Big Six, especially in recent years. They've bullied City, they've bullied Arsenal, they've bullied Spurs, Chelsea. The list goes on. You get it. But the one team they really can't get a hold of, especially in recent years, is Liverpool. So you can kind of understand what this means to them as a club, especially adding the whole Isak situation as fire. And honestly, that's exactly how it played out for the first 20 or 30 minutes. Newcastle were on top. Literally for the first 20 or 30 minutes, these guys were playing at 110%, winning every duel, winning every tackle, frustrating the opponent, getting pretty much getting inside their head, not being able to let them play their own game. Every single metric Newcastle had dominated, and obviously I'm going to get into who played well in that first half, and you can see it on my screen too. The momentum before Gravenberch scored the first goal in the 35th minute, it was literally all Newcastle. And you kind of have to feel for Newcastle because these guys dominated Liverpool. They made them look, frail, intimidated. You can tell Liverpool were off their game for the first 20 or 30 minutes. The pressure was on them. The fans were absolutely going mental. St. James's Park was loud. It was so loud. The volume on my computer when I was watching this game, I had to put it on half, and it was still very, very loud. This is one of the most intimidating grounds to go to as a football club. No matter where you come from, no matter how good you are, St. James's Park, when it's rocking, this place is insane. And you kind of have to feel bad for Newcastle because you can see in the first 20 or 30 minutes before the opener, these guys were dominating. And to be honest, they should have had 2 or 3 goals. With the chances they had really good chances. And if a certain someone had started, in my opinion, they would have been up before Gravenberch scored. And to be honest, what a goal. What a strike, what a finish. It was a completely against the run of play. And remember how I said in the Bournemouth-Liverpool reaction, how when Semenyo scored the equalizer, you could hear a pin drop in Anfield. That's exactly how it was today at St. James's Park. As soon as Gravenberch scored, the crowd was killed. Absolutely killed. And thing is, it was only 1-0. So you'd kind of expect Newcastle to have some sort of fight back. And they did. They became more aggressive. They started to win more tackles in the middle of the park. And Liverpool still, to be fair, they still kind of looked shaky even after going 1-0 up. And that's exactly when the mistake happened. That's exactly when, honestly, the biggest game changer happened. Gordon gets sent off for a stupid, ridiculous, unnecessary, whatever label you want to call it, challenge on Van Dijk. This guy, yes, I understand he's pressing. I understand he has instructions. I understand there's like he wants to be aggressive. He fed into like the narrative of like going out there and putting your all to get the ball. He fed into it too much because he didn't really think with his head with what happened here. This guy went studs up, which is that in itself is stupid. Studs up into Van Dijk's knee, or like the top of his like I don't know, like pretty much just under his knee, and scraped it down in like one singular motion. It looks terrible on like in like the slow-mo. Even in like the fast motion or like the regular pace, it looks terrible. Studs up under Van Dijk's knee and scrapes it all the way down to like his ankle, Achilles area. And you could even see there are pictures of like the actual scrape marks on Van Dijk's calf. What are you thinking? Like, I mean, what was his thought process there? Genuinely, what was his thing? He completely missed the ball. Van Dijk was playing it off his left foot, I believe. Gordon comes in on the right side. So, as it is, he's going for a far angle for a challenge. But to completely miss the ball and get the wrong leg too, that's just stupid. That's so stupid. And you can tell his reaction after. I know his regret, the way Eddie Howe reacted, the way his teammates reacted. Like, it was just how everything was going so well for them in the first like 20 or 30 minutes. Just completely collapsed for the last like 5 or 10 minutes of the half. And then Liverpool then went into the halftime with a 1-0 lead and one man up. And honestly, I was even telling my friends, I'm like, that Gordon red card probably just killed their game. Like, I really don't see, Newcastle coming back too much in this situation. I kind of expect Liverpool to control the game in that second half. That's exactly what happened, to be fair, in the first couple of minutes of that second half. Ekitike literally scores to make it 2-0, like 45 seconds into the second half. To be honest, I'm not going to lie to you, I missed the goal. It happened that quick in the second half. I literally got back to my seat, I think on like the 46th or 47th minute, and Ekitike had already scored. It was already 2-0. And I saw the replay of the goal, and man, this guy, his finish was ridiculous. It was a bit jammy, to be fair, couple deflections in and around the box, but to finish that first time into the bottom corner, fair enough. And Ekitike he's in some form coming into the Premier League, so kind of have to give props to him. And I think that his role in this Liverpool team is going to be so utilized with the players around him, and I think that his importance in the side is going to be pivotal to get these like points, because what Liverpool did today, let's be honest, they didn't really deserve 3 points. So when Liverpool were up 2-0, I'm like, okay, I really hope Newcastle kind of don't feed into this more, don't concede more. They don't want to make it ugly. But the way these guys turned it around, honestly, I'm gonna talk about Liverpool, because I simply don't understand how Liverpool gave up another 2-goal lead like last week. And in the manner they did so too. Because the way Newcastle got back into this was truly, truly remarkable. And to be honest, I'm not sure if it was, slot subs. I'm not sure if it was Newcastle subs. The way these guys got back into the game, it kind of proves the point about how fans can really be a 12th man. They can really help a team just kind of get over the line or get the extra edge on certain teams when playing at home. The fans today for Newcastle, wow, like these guys were so loud. They really you could tell they got under Liverpool's skin for like the majority of that game. It's like literally for every throw in, for every corner, for every duel they won, like these guys were going absolutely ballistic. And I kind of have to give props for Eddie Howe, because you saw for the majority of that first half, Newcastle would win like 80% of the duels, probably like 60 or 70% of the tackles. Like these guys were like on Liverpool physically, absolutely mauled them in midfield, defense. Like they really didn't give them much to like do. Obviously, yes, they went into halftime a goal down, and then Liverpool obviously scored the second in the beginning of the second half. But you kind of have to give props for Eddie Howe, like I said, because I'm pretty sure he saw how Newcastle were playing in that first half, and he's like, we're a man down, but we can still beat them airily. We can still beat them, physically. And that's literally what they did for like, I think between like the 60th and the 90th minute, pretty much till the end of the game, until Rio scored. These guys would just abuse long balls and throw-ins, corners for like 20 minutes on repeat. Like they were playing in Liverpool's half for like, you could see the momentum graph on my screen. These guys were literally lofting and launching balls into the box because they knew that Liverpool were going to find it difficult. And that's just something that Slot needs to learn about his team, because these guys aerially today were so bad. Besides Van Dijk. Van Dijk was absolutely unreal today. This guy won so many headers. But Konate, Szoboszlai, to be fair, also had a good game. Kirkez wasn't great today as well. Newcastle played to their strengths in that second half, and fair enough, that's how they literally clawed it back to make it 2-2. For Newcastle's first goal, Livramento, who had a brilliant game today, lofts it in to the box, and Bruno at the back post gets the better of Kirkez and heads it in for 2-1. And Kirkez's defending there was really disappointing, and that's 2 games now, or 3 games if you want to include the Palace game, the Community Shield. That's 3 games now where I haven't seen Kirkez really do much. I haven't seen Kirkez kind of impress me defensively. And I think he's still a terrific footballer. For Bournemouth, he was exceptional last season. But I'm still waiting for him to really impress me in a Liverpool shirt. And then for the second goal was, again, a long ball from, I don't know if it was Pope or someone played it from their half. Lofts it in. Dan Burn beats Konate to the air. Flicks in behind. Osula's in. And then manages to squeeze it past Alisson. And the referee, or the assistant referee, the fourth official, had called for 11 minutes of added time. And as soon as I saw the number 11 on the board, I'm like, yeah, there's 100% a winner here. Whether it's for Liverpool or Newcastle, there's going to be a 5th goal somewhere here. And by that point, both teams had used a lot of their subs. But Liverpool had subbed on Harvey Elliott and Rio. And Rio is someone in preseason who kind of impressed a lot of people. He's kind of like how Max Dowman, who's a 15-year-old, impressed a lot of Arsenal fans. He is their youngster who came through Chelsea's academy. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. But he kind of came on last couple minutes of the game. Slot probably just told him, go out there, do what you can. And the way this guy scored the winner, the way he scored that winner, wow. And honestly, it was just brilliant football leading up to that goal. It was just quick passing, 1-2s, making space for each other, decoy runs. And the way Szoboszlai also just played the dummy, the little leave it for the man behind me so that Rio could just slot it in. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. 16 years old. 16 years old in your Prem debut, coming on in the last couple minutes in one of the most intimidating stadiums in England and scoring a winner to silence and literally putting a dagger in Newcastle's hearts. Fair enough. Fair enough. Rio Ngomoha. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. But Rio, I'm just going to call you Rio. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Because what a moment that is. 16 years old. What were you doing at 16? What was I doing at 16? I was probably I was playing video games with the friends who are probably watching this video right now. 16 years old. Insane. Genuinely insane. I don't even know what to say to that. I'm actually speechless. But if we were to go into talking about the best players, who impressed me a lot, who didn't really impress me so much, I thought Szoboszlai today at right back had a brilliant game against Harvey Barnes. This guy literally nullified him. I thought he was exceptional today at right back. Konate, man. This guy, man. That's 2 games in a row where he's on fraud watch. This guy was so bad today. He did not impress me one bit. Van Dijk was exceptional today. This guy won so many headers in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the game. Kirkez didn't have a great game. That's 3 games in a row now. I think Slot's just not using him correctly. I think for Bournemouth, we saw this guy was just flying down the wings, attacking, free-flowing. But I think the way Slot's been using him is he's so stationary. He's kind of close to Van Dijk and Konate and these guys. He's not really overlapping. He's just staying more centrally. Curtis Jones and Gravenberch, I thought Gravenberch was really good today. Kind of just shows how vital he is to that team. Jones is also pretty good today. Salah wasn't good today. I don't know how he's gotten a 7. Oh, it's because of the assist. But this guy again, Bournemouth, he wasn't that good, and Newcastle again, he just wasn't that good today, which is kind of weird because he kind of fancies playing Newcastle with his goal record against them. Gakpo. Again, I feel Liverpool's attack, except for Ekitike today, really didn't do that much. I know that their ratings are gonna be pumped up because of the goals and assists, but Liverpool's attack today really struggled. I thought Newcastle's backline really did a good job of kind of keeping them at bay. Wirtz, we saw last game. This guy had this welcome to the Premier League moments, but this game he didn't really play that well. I thought that he didn't really do much. He got the ball a couple times, passed it around a couple times. I think he's trying to find his he's trying to find his game, but again, I'm not going to be too harsh on him because it is still the beginning of the season. I'm sure he's in his adaptation period right now. Ekitike was brilliant today. This guy, I think he's like I said, he's that one man who kind of causes backline some trouble in terms of the spaces in behind, his threat in and amongst goal, and he bagged the goal today, so fair enough. Elanga was good today. I thought, this guy is so rapid. This guy is unbelievably rapid. Gordon was good until he got his red card, which was kind of unfortunate for Newcastle. Barnes wasn't great today. I thought he literally offered nothing in attack. Guimaraes was probably their best player with Livermento. This guy was this guy needs his own episode, to be honest. Like today, the way he played was just, it showed how much passion can do for a game like this. Like the way this guy was everywhere on the pitch, tackling, running, winning the ball, pass it, like literally every metric. This guy was so superior today against all other midfielders. An absolute warrior, man. Newcastle, like this guy would get into a lot of Premier League teams, and which is not like a crazy thing to say. He's literally probably their best player, bar Isak and Gordon. Tonali was good today, and these three, every single time they play a big six, they're gonna have a good game today. Unfortunately, both of them got injured, but before they got injured, they really were giving Newcastle some trouble. I mean, Liverpool some trouble. Trippier and Shaw had their moments of lack of composure. Burn and Livermento today were good. They really caused Liverpool some trouble, especially with Livermento's overlapping runs, Burn's aerial ability. He was a real threat for them in those last 10 minutes as well. And yeah, like what else is there to say, guys? Like what a game of football. This all happened in literally just 100 minutes. Everything that I just said. What a game of football. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Hopefully many more games like this to come in the Premier League. And what a start it's been to the Premier League season. And I'm sure you guys have been enjoying it too, as much as I have. And I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Follow all my socials and hit the subscribe button. That would mean the absolute world to me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.